Hey there, everyone. It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sistas, Season 5, Episode 18, Friends Are Lovers. And this was an exciting episode, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of, I got a little critique about a lot of stuff that was going on, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, because I just didn't like the way this was written. I'm sorry, Tyler Perry, honey, but I don't like the way you writing all of this stuff. And we're going to start it off right now with Zach and Aaron fighting in the restaurant after he put his hands on Karen to make her sit down. Then Fatima and Angela walk in just in time to see them brawling on the floor. Karen is screaming, "Stop!" Robin is holding Andi back as she tells them to stop too. And Fatima is just watching. And then finally an employee breaks them up. And then Fatima tells Zach to look at her, because he's up against the wall. She's like, "Look at me. Look at me. Calm down." And he's saying, "I've been trying to be a good guy. I've been trying to be a good guy." And right there, my heart broke. I'm telling you, my heart broke because he's trying to do the right thing. But I'm sorry, Fatima. This is on you. I got you with all this chaos. I'm sorry. And, because Zach is almost in tears. And Andi grabs Karen's arm and says, "Harry, we got to go. Where's the back door?" And Aaron is in tow, following them out the back. Fatima and Zach leave out the front door. The manager tells them that he's going to call the police. And Fatima said, "F you and the police." And then Angela strokes that manager's tie and says, "Call me." And homeboy was smiling from ear to ear, talking about, "Okay, folks, let's sit back down. We're still open for business. It was just a little scuffle." And I'm sitting there going, "Well, did you give him your number? So how he supposed to call you, honey, if you didn't give him the number?" So now we have Gary. He's showing up at the steam plant and asks the manager what happened. And he told him, "You don't want to know." That's when Gary notices Robin's at the bar drinking alone. And the restaurant looks kind of empty at this point now. So Gary goes over to him and asks what happened there. And he said, just a little altercation. Then he asked, "Who was it?" And Robin said, "A couple of customers." Mind you, Robin helped Zach and Fatima get out of jail, so he knows just who they are because Fatima works for them. So anyway, Robin seems to have an attitude with Gary because he's asking him what's going on. And Robin said, "You tell me." So then Gary makes a comment saying, "Let me buy you a drink because you need to save your money." And Robin questions him like, "What does that mean?" And then you could tell that Gary knew something. And Robin asked how he knew it. And Gary said, "Well, I work with the senior partners." And Robin said, "And Hayden." So Robin says, "Oh, so this was your idea?" And Gary smiling saying, "Yeah, it was. Surprise," or something like that. And Robin's like smiling, telling Gary it's not going to work. And Gary is like so confident and thrilled about what he did and says, "I don't know why not." And Robin tells him that the money is there. And Gary's smile turned into it wasn't a frown yet, but it was like confusion on his face. And Robin's smile widened, it went up real high. And he says to Gary, as he pats him on the shoulder, "What's wrong, buddy? You look a little shocked. You thought I was too leveraged to come up with the money?" And Gary said, "Yeah." And Robin said, "I guess you were wrong." I said, "Oh, snap." I said, "Oh, snap." So at this point, Gary was trying hard to contain his disappointment. Then the manager calls Gary and tells him his table is ready. And, he goes to his table, sits down. The first thing he do is pull out that phone and call Hayden, who just happens to be in bed with Tamara and doesn't want to answer the phone. But Tamara rolls off him and tells him to answer his damn phone. So Hayden is pissed by the call. And Gary tells him that Robin got the money and that Hayden needs to find out how. Hayden doesn't understand it because he's so leveraged, he said. And he said a bank couldn't have given him the money. So anyway, Gary admits that he just wanted Robin away from Andi. And Hayden said, "I know." So Hayden said if he put it in the business account, he can figure that out in the morning where he got the money from. But it definitely, he said, was not from a bank. So Hayden tells Gary he's busy right now. And Gary said, "With that girl?" And Hayden said, "Yeah, I'm tearing that ass up." He said he teared that ass up. I fell out. That girl was rolling off of him like, "You are boring me to death." I don't know what he thought he was doing. Anyway, so Tamara, he hangs up from Gary and Tamara wants to leave, and Hayden wants her to stay the night. And he's basically telling her that he'll take care of her some way. And she said, nah, I need to go get me a job and stuff. And she questions Hayden about why he's willing to look out for her since, he just met her. And he said that he sees something about her he likes. So he asked her, she said, you don't even know what I like. I know how to do, because he said he'll find her job. She said, you don't even know what I'm good at. And he said, oh, I know what you're good at. So then she was like, you so funny. And he said, well, what are you good at? And she said something about secretarial. So let's see what happens with that. I hope he don't get at that damn law firm, because Fatima going to lose it. So now we see Fatima in Angela's car as they roll up in front of, her house. Angela asks Fatima, does she want to stay with her tonight until Zach calms down? Fatima says no, and then Zach pulls up and they go inside. Fatima gives him an ice pack for his hand, and then she comes at him with the, are you happy? You proud of yourself? And I'm sitting there going, that's the first thing you say, really? So she asked him, why was he fighting? And he said, because Aaron always saying stuff to him and he doesn't mind his business. And Fatima tells her, that's not why he was fighting. You were fighting him. It's because you're mad with Karen. And I'm sitting there going, here we go. You telling him, you asked him the question. He told you his answer and you told him basically he's lying. That's not what it's about. You can't keep doing that. A relationship ain't gonna work that way. So Zach said, no, I don't need a therapist, okay? And Fatima's telling Zach that Karen didn't do this, that someone Angela knows. And Zach said, who? And Fatima said, don't worry about that. That right there is a problem, Fatima. And it makes no darn sense to me. You need to know. You need to worry about who it was. You never even found out because you're so busy believing and trusting in your girlfriend, Angela, who is messy as hell. You don't even know who it is. And you need to be asking those questions to your friend. Were you scared to lose another friend? Is that what the issue is? Because this is whack right now, what you're doing here. So then Zach goes, exactly. You don't even know who it is. He says she's never nice to me. And as soon as she is, a picture shows up. I'm not stupid. I know something's up. Then Zach calls Fatima out on her stuff that she does and how she gets into fights and gets scolded. And no, how he gets into a fight, he gets scolded like a child. But the ish she does, putting people's head through walls and almost killing them, is way worse. And nothing happens to her. And Fatima's like I told you. She would tell this. You have a record. I don't have a record. He said, and I don't know why not. He said, because the stuff you do is way worse. And I was like, he is absolutely right. And all she could say, whatever, Zach. I thought it was funny, though. I really did. Because he had a point. The stuff she do is way out. All he did was have a fight. Anyway, Zach tells Fatima, that he's going to bed and not dealing with this. And she said, fine, on the couch. And Zach said, he ain't sleeping on no couch in his own house. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Then he said, and then she said, I was waiting for that. And I'm sitting there going, y'all see, this is the same thing that my ex tried with me. When you're talking about your home, it's my house. It doesn't matter who paid for it. If you live there, it's my house. When his kids was like, you won't come to my house? He says, oh, let me get something from my house. And I say, but when I say, my house, and then it's like, oh, it's your house. He got insulted. That's his insecurity because he didn't pay for the house. I paid for the house. So that's his insecurity in his head. And I'm sorry, Fatima, but that's part of yours too. It really is. If you're talking to your girls, you're like, I'm going home. I'm going to my house. I'm going home. So why can't he say it while he's talking to you? What was he supposed to do while y'all arguing? No, I ain't sleeping on the couch in our house. I'm not sleeping on the couch in our house. No, in my house. It's my house. And she could say the same thing. I've seen her in Zatima tell people, you can clean out my hot tub. That's my this and my that. She said it. Get off my couch with your feet. My this, my that. So come on, Fatima. Now you being, and he was like, come on, what are you talking about? He was clueless as to what she was getting at. Anyway, oh Jesus, this was a long one. So now she gets mad and wants to leave instead of being a damn adult and discussing things. Zach tries to stop her, but she's like, how the F you telling me what I'ma do? So Zach is like, what? Is that how you feel? But back up. Didn't she tell him what he had to do? Didn't she tell him he need to get that stuff signed by Karen or whatever? Get those papers in. Didn't she tell him he had to go see Heather? Didn't he have a dinner planned for her one night? And she comes home talking about this Karen stuff. We got to call her now. We got to get her here. All of this. You told him what to do. And now you telling him he can't tell you what to do? See what I'm saying? Come on now. Anybody, I don't care. I'm a Fatima fan, but wrong is wrong and right is right. And if y'all don't want to hear it, don't listen to it. Wrong is wrong, right is right. We can't have double standards either way, honey. Nah. You can't tell me what to do and I can't tell you what to do. We can't do that. So anyway, Zach is like, is that how you feel? Every time we get into an argument, you're going to run? So then she throws up his baby mama drama in his face. That was a low blow. So he tells her, she needs to calm down. And Zach is not yelling at her. He's not yelling. Only Fatima's being aggressive towards him and yelling and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not liking this at all. I don't like what I'm seeing here. And it was getting me upset. And he said he didn't kiss her. He said, I didn't kiss her. And all she could say is, don't make me think I'm crazy. And that the last nigga I was with tried to do that same ish. And he yelled for her to stop acting crazy. And then he said, if this is too much for you, then leave. And she mushed him and hit him or whatever she did. And I was like, see, he didn't touch her. And then she said, F you. And see, he ain't never said that to her. I don't think we heard Zach swear at her. If I'm wrong, y'all put it down in the comment section. But I'm like, she is way out. We've never seen him really put hands on her or anything. I know he stopped her like that. But he was like, you're not going nowhere. But I said, see, this is too much. So now they get to Karen's home and we at Karen's house and Andi tells her about the pic that was taken in the salon and Karen is pissed. Won't let Andi explain her side. She says, you get around this chick and you don't know how to act. And Andi said, I don't tell her what you say and I don't tell you what she says. Karen is like, oh, so there's more? And Andi says, you are not being reasonable. And then says, Aaron, help me here. And Karen said, no, he ain't got ish to say about this. And told Andi to get the F out of her house now. And Karen, she was like, you got to be kidding me, Karen. And Karen's like, get out. Get out. And Karen goes in her bedroom, slams the door. And then Aaron comes over to say stuff to Andi. Andi's like, oh, no, now you got some words to say? And Aaron said, I just wanted her to stay calm because of the baby. Oh, if y'all don't stop tiptoeing around her 6-week baby, you tiptoeing around like she's 8 months. Come on. So I know that I could have handled this better, he said. And Andi said, you think? I said, right? Then as Andi was leaving, Aaron said he'll talk to Karen and get back to Andi. And she left and slammed the door. I said, oh boy. Then we got Sabrina's telling Danny that she lost her job and Danny's trying to be positive for her. They chat for a bit. Danny keeps looking at her phone and then she tells Sabrina she's going to go home. And Sabrina offers to give her a ride, but Danny said, no, I'm fine. So Danny walks out her door and calls Q to come over to her house. Oh my freaking God. What is wrong with her? Now you bringing a stray with an ankle monitor on. What the hell, Danny? God. So now we have Karen. I don't like this part. I don't like that he did. Tyler made her be this naive with this. So now we have Karen calling Aaron to come into her bedroom, asking if he's okay. She tells him that Zach acts like that whenever he feels that he's been wronged. So, and Aaron's like, but he wasn't wrong. Karen's like, no, I didn't do anything. So she said that she should probably apologize to Andi. And Aaron said, yeah, you should, because Andi was really hurt. And he told her that she could have, handled it differently. And Karen said she doesn't want to be jealous of Fatima. She's not, but she made a move on my ex and all my friends. It's a lot. I was like, she didn't make a move on nobody. It was your ex, girl, please. So Karen says that she will call Andi in the morning because she needs rest right now. And Aaron thought that was a very good idea. Then Karen realizes that Pam hasn't sent her a video of the salon after she closed. So she calls her and Pam is still in there because one of the stylists is still working. Then she tells Karen that she heard about the restaurant. Girl, I heard about the restaurant. Karen's like, I don't want to hear it. She said, Zach going to hell. And Karen's like, why would you say that? He said, he hit one of the Lord's messages. I said, Pam is nuts. So next we have Andy's telling the doorman to let Robin up. And then Fatima calls her and lets her know that she's staying in a hotel and will be probably probably being late to work in the morning. And Andi tells her no to come to her house because she has 3 extra bedrooms. 3, mind you, that none of us has ever seen yet on screen. So I'm wondering which door leads to these bedrooms and if there is another bedroom. I'm just saying, I can't wait to see where these other bedrooms are. So Fatima says she's on her way. Then Robin comes in and tells Andi that he saw Gary at the restaurant, and Andi wants to know why he was there. And she's hoping that he's not following her. So he lets Andi know that he told Gary that he had the money, and that's when Andi showed a bit of concern, asking if he thinks that was wise. And Robin said he wanted to mess with his head. I said, oh, good one. I like that. And Andi says, Gary's very cunning. And Robin says the money is there and that he can't do anything about it, and added that he knows Gary is cunning and he's got him. Andy's like, okay, all right. So she thanks him for everything and they say goodnight. Now we have Q showing up to Danny's apartment. They sit on the couch and he offers her some weed and she said no. And he says, you don't trust nobody. And she said, she tells him she don't trust him. Yet you got him sitting up in your goddamn house, Danny. Come on now. How could you not trust him and you got him up in your house? So he asked her what happened. Why doesn't she trust men? She says she trusts some, but has to be careful. Then she starts laughing to herself because she's sitting there with a guy who has an ankle monitor on. And she says, what am I doing? I got to stop smoking and drinking. So he wants to make her comfortable. And he said, what can I do to make you comfortable? She said, let's just sit here and talk. So no, he gets up and starts taking off all his clothes, which y'all know how Q like to do that. All of his clothes to prove to her, he said that he doesn't have any weapons on him. And Danny told him that little thing right there, that can be used as a weapon. So he wants to go and sleep in the bed with her. And she's saying he ain't getting his funky ass in her bed. Then he asked her if she wanted him to leave. And this dumb chick couldn't even answer him quickly. She couldn't even answer him. Then she asked him if he had condoms, and he pulled one out and said, always. Danny is so freaking dumb right now. I don't even know what to say, y'all. Then we have Maurice in jail singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, coming for to carry me home. Anyway, and as they put another prisoner in the cell with him. So the kid is being nice to Maurice, who is being so nasty for no good damn reason, calling him a biatch and all. So the kid asked Maurice, what's he in for? And he said for being a diva. Then Maurice asked what he did. And he said the prosecutor is trying to get him to roll over on one of his friends, but he's not going to do it. Maurice is suspicious of the kid, but saying he may be an informant for the prosecutor. That's what it was. And of course, the kid protests that he's not an informant and then tells Maurice that he's been in there for 1 year because he can't make bail. So that, all of this is to scare Maurice. So Maurice asked, what did he do? And he said, bank fraud, but he didn't do it. And Maurice is like, oh, you didn't, huh? But we could all smell that it's a setup by that prosecutor already. Then it ends with Fatima showing up at Andy's penthouse and Andi welcoming her with a big hug, asking if she's okay. Fatima saying that she isn't and asks is she sure it's okay for her to stay there because she doesn't want to get in between her and Karen. And Andi said it's too late. But she wouldn't elaborate on what she meant by that when Fatima asked. Then she asked what happened. So Fatima says they got into a big fight and she's mad. And then I want Zach to sleep on the sofa. And he started talking about his house this and his house that. Wow. I was sitting there going, he didn't hit her. He didn't cheat on her. He got into a fight with another man and now he has to sleep on the couch. I'm not getting all of that. And someone in that comment section, like I said, gonna have to explain this one to me. I'm just saying. Anyways, Andi is trying to talk to Fatima, who is saying that she's going back to her apartment in the morning. And Andi is saying, wait a minute, was the fight that serious? And she was like, yeah. Then she added that you two are happy together and to remember that. And Andi noticed that Fatima took off her ring too. Yes, I left it on the counter. This is what I'm saying. When you get into a relationship, just because you have a big fight and a blow up, you don't start taking off rings and running out to other people's houses and leaving and all this stuff. Y'all gotta be adults. Y'all promised each other that y'all would do this and work things out. At least they did on Fatima. I don't know what the heck is happening here on Sistas, but I'm really getting disappointed. So as Andi is trying to talk some sense into Fatima and remind her how much she and Zach are in love with each other, she's an advocate for Zach. She really is fighting for Zach. And I like that about Andi. She's really seen a change in Zach. And somebody wrote that in my comment section, and I had to think about it. And I said, they're absolutely right. Andi is really fighting for Zach. She sees him trying to change. I don't know what's going on with Fatima right now, but anyway, as Andi is telling her, don't let Karen get in between your relationship, Karen walks in off the elevator. Now, wasn't she supposed to be laying her butt in bed and getting some rest? Well, anyway, that's not what she did. And that's how it ended. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. And I will see you guys in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.